All right, in this video, we're going to introduce our section on standard normal distributions. And we're actually going to break this objective up into a couple videos for time purposes, but we're going to be looking at finding the area under a normal curve given z-score or z-scores. So we've talked about discrete probability distributions where each of our observations are discrete or countable variables. For instance, the number of times tails comes up on 5 flips of a coin. We talked about the binomial distribution, geometric distribution, Poisson distribution, etc. Normal distributions are a case of what are known as continuous probability distributions. So, a continuous probability distribution is one in which the observations are continuous variables. So, in this section, we're going to discuss the standard normal distribution whose histogram resembles a bell-shaped curve. So, here's our bell-shaped curve. We talked about this in previous videos. We've seen when we talked about skewness. And here's our bell-shaped curve. The x-axis is the z-score, which we learned how to calculate with measures of positions, and then the y-axis represents the probability of for each of those z-scores. Now, here is the equation, the standard normal equation, which for our purposes we're not really going to have to worry too much about. But if you wanted to graph this distribution in your graphing calculator, this is the equation you would want to enter. As far as our purposes go, you don't have to worry about this equation. And in the next section, we'll look at the equation for actual observed values. So this equation is in terms of z-scores. And in the next section, we'll take a look at using actual values. So some properties of our normal distribution: that the mean again is 0, standard deviation is 1, which is what we talked about with z-scores as well. If we take the z-scores of all the values in a data set, the mean of the z-scores is 1, or the mean is 0 rather, and the standard deviation of the z-scores is 1. The graph is symmetric about the mean, which means it's split down the middle here at 0. The left half and right half are mirror images of each other. The area under the curve represents the probability of obtaining a z-score in that area. So area and probability are synonymous with what we're going to be talking about in the next several videos. And then if we add up all the area underneath the curve, the total area again equals 1. So again, if we add up all the probabilities of all observations in a probability distribution, the total equals 1. All right, so example 1, in this video, we're going to look at examples where we're finding the area to the left of a z-score, which in the next video, we'll take a look at to the right, in between, and outside of z-scores as well. One of the things that I'm going to strongly recommend that you do in this section and other sections as well is draw a picture of your normal distribution curve and the shaded region, the shaded area you're trying to find. It doesn't have to look pretty. It just has to. It's there to help you guide you along with what to do. So we're going to find the area under the curve to the left of each of the following z-scores. So in 1a, we have to the left of z equals 0, which would look like this. So we want to find this area that's in green here underneath this curve, which is also the probability of obtaining a z-score less than or equal to 0. By the way, with continuous distributions, having it less than 0 is the same as having it less than or equal to 0. So in order to understand why that is, you would need to know about integral calculus, which we don't need for this course. But just so you know, z equals less than or equal to 0 and less than 0 for continuous distributions, going to give you the same value. So don't have to worry too much about that. So here we have our, we can sketch this out and you can shade it to the left of z equals 0. We want to find this area, this probability of obtaining a value less than or equal to 0. Now, in terms of how to do that, a lot of statistics textbooks will have tables, which for many, many years and many, many decades is what people use to calculate the area. However, our benefit of living in the times that we live in is we have a lot of statistical software that can do that for us. Now, some of the software is you have to pay for it in order to use it. Others you can use for free. So here I have the code that we're going to use. And again, I'm going to link this in the description. You don't have to worry about what any of this stuff means. It's going to walk you through everything, and it's all free. And I'm going to link this in the description. So you can copy all this and search for online Python IDE, paste it into that program, and then run it and have all this stuff done for you for free as well. So let me first run this. So it's going through, it's going to run all this. Again, you don't have to worry about what any of this stuff means. Most of the time when you have software that is paid for, all this would be hidden from you. So it's still running. So how's the weather? It's real sunny here today. So I'm not sure why this is taking so long. Let me see if I can maybe stop this and let's try running it again. There we go. Okay. So I don't know why it took so long. All right. So the way this is set up, first it's going to ask you, are you working with z-scores or observed values? So in this section, we're working with z-scores. So anything in standard normal distribution, you'll select option 1 and then press enter. So if you want to quit this program, you just press Q to quit. But I'm going to hit 1, press enter. And then it's going to ask, are we trying to find the area, probability, percent, etc., or are we given an area and need to find a particular value, like a z-score? So for this video and the next, we're going to be finding an area. So we're trying to find the area. In this case, it's less than or equal to 0. So I'm going to select option 1. And then this case, which is why it helps to sketch the problem, we're looking to find the area that is to the left of the z-score. So we have option 1. We're going to select the area that's to the left. And what's the z-score? Well, it's 0. So what is the area to the left of 0? It is 0.5 or 50%. So again, it'll walk you through everything, so you don't have to worry about doing anything on your own. So 0.5, which it makes sense because half of the value should be below the mean, half of the value should be above the mean. So again, if z equals 0, that's our mean, half of them below, the other half above. So the probability that we select a z-score less than or equal to 0 is a half. All right, part B, z equals -1. So we're going to find the area to the left of z equals -1. Well, we're just going to go through and, again, we're going to hit 1 for z-score. We're trying to find the area, so we'll press 1 again. And it's area to the left, so it's another 1. And now the z-score is -1, I believe. Yeah, -1. So we enter in -1, press enter, and it tells us the area to the left of z equals -1 is about 0.1587. So our probability then is 0.1587. So the probability of selecting a z-score less than or equal to -1 is about 15.87%. So these are all rounded to 4 decimal places, but they do go on forever. All right, part C, what is the probability we select a value that is less than or equal to 1.75 or 1 3/4 standard deviations above the mean? So here is about 1.75 between 1 and 2. We're shading everything to the left. So quite a bit of the values are going to be less than or equal to 1.75. So let's run that one. So we're doing z-score, and we're trying to find the area. So it's 1. And then we want the area to the left, 1 again. And now the z-score this time is 1.75. And when we press enter, we get 0.9599. So for this one, 0.9599, our probability that we select a z-score that is less than or equal to 1.75 standard deviations above the mean is about 96%. 0.9599 is about 96%. So about 96% of the values are going to be less than or equal to 1.75 standard deviations above the mean. This is also your percentile. So about 96% of all the other z-scores are going to be below 1.75, a z-value of 1.75. So we talked in the past about percentile. This is a very good use of percentiles with normal distributions. All right, so that about does it for this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.